Hi, it's Ernie Rideout, Editor-in-Chief of Keyboard Magazine, and we're here at the Winter NAMM Show 2009 with Alicia Keys, who's got a nifty new little product out called Alicia's Keys. And I'm going to ask her a little bit about that. But first, Alicia, the last time I saw you was backstage at the Letterman show just before a crazy performance you gave.
Wow.
And you were talking with Ray Chu, and you had a book of Chopin etudes in your hand. So my question to you now is, the next time I see you backstage at Letterman, will you have a manual on how to program sounds on the motif?
Definitely. Well, I'm big on learning. I'm always big on learning. I'm definitely big on learning new instruments, mostly gear, and learning new songs and things that will really be able to just increase my knowledge. So you never know what kind of manual or booklet that you'll find in my hand.
That's great. Tell me a little, and our readers, a little bit about Alicia's Keys. It's a software piano, is that right?
Yes, it is. Alicia's Keys is a virtual piano, and so it's software that we've created, myself and Thomas Scarby, who's well known in the digital world for creating many different virtual sounds. My personal favorite is Scarby's Rhodes. I love it. The sound that he's been able to create is just very unique and one of a kind. So I love to actually use that. And so it was really a great brainstorm from my engineer, Ann Mincielli, who's worked on my last album, the entire album with me, for us to combine and be able to capture the sounds that I use on my As I Am album and be able to basically allow the world to use it, and especially for me to be able to take it with me anywhere that I go, because oftentimes I'm using different keyboards or keyboard sounds, especially with shows. Even if I have a shell that looks like a grand, I'll use a MIDI keyboard sound so that I can control it in the mix, and it's just only okay. So I wanted to create something that was way better than okay, and that's what led to Alicia's Keys.
That's really exciting. So the sounds, it came from an acoustic piano that you're fond of? Is that it?
So the Yamaha C3 Neo is in my studio. And that's exactly what we recorded. We sampled all 88 keys. We sampled, pedal up, pedal down. We sampled the resonance of it. We sampled staccato. We sampled everything, the release. All of it is so accurate to exactly when your finger leaves the piano. We even sampled the sound of the pedal, the sound that the pedal makes as you're using it, which I love. We have the microphones that we use are old tube mics to record it, and we even have kind of the hiss in there that you're able to turn down or turn up, just to, depending on what your vibe is. I like the old school sound. I like kind of noisy sounding things because it feels, so all of that is in it, and it just really is accurate to my piano.
That's amazing. That was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. It took a while. At least 6 months to really record it, and then Scarby went back with his programmer Nils, and he does Contact 3, the program Contact 3, and they edited it and programmed it, and it's a lot of work.
Tell me they didn't make you play each key every time 88 times.
I played, because just one key in itself, just the velocities, because you're hard all the way to the pianissimo is like massive amount of time. So when I started, I was playing it, and when I did the notes that you sustain without the pedal, just holding it and letting the note die out on its own. And then doing it softer and letting the note die out on its own. And like one note took an hour. And so when I finally left the booth for one note, it was an hour. I was like, wow, this is going to take forever. So I did some, and then they did a lot of the rest.
Wow. I had heard you were kind of hands-on with a lot of your own technology, but playing the notes on your actual own sampled piano is insane.
And it's really important. Another technique that we did was we really just captured the style of me playing, so that when I couldn't hit every note, you could mimic the feel of me playing the piano. So it was cool. It's been a great experience, and it's going to lead to so many more things.
That's really very cool. How will people be able to get Alicia's Keys, and what will they need to be able to use it?
Right now, we are finalizing the actual distribution side of it as of this present moment. So in the next 3 months, you'll definitely be able to get it. And when you will be able to get it, right now it works through Contact 3, which is like through a Native Instruments kind of format. And so you will buy the software, load it into your computer, and then you can use any controller that you want to trigger it. And that's the way that it worked for now. But as we cross-format it, which I want to do, and especially bringing in Yamaha in the mix, I want to create a keyboard slash piano that will really house this sound. And what I would love to do is I just love to make an amazing body and that the sound lives in, so that teenagers and college students and people who aren't able to afford $50,000 pianos have a great sound with a great feel and can really hone their creative craft.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's quite and this particular sound is really inspiring in your own music. Any of the songs you performed for us earlier today, were they inspired by that sound? And can you tell me a little bit about how that inspiration works in the songwriting process?
Definitely. Well, the piano that we sampled, I wrote a lot of my album on. I wrote Like You'll Never See Me Again on that piano. I wrote Superwoman on that piano. I wrote No One Started on that piano. I mean, there was a lot of songs that came from that sound that we've captured. So I think sound, it's all about the sound, because, one time I played this beautiful, 16th century harpsichord, and it was so spectacular that I just couldn't stop playing it. And then there was another harpsichord that came that was from the same time, but it just wasn't built as beautifully, and it didn't inspire me. So it's really all about how it sounds. And when I play this sound and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it, it makes me want to play the richness, the warmth of it, the way that it feels so big and grand. It's kind of dark and mysterious. All of that gives me the inspiration to write. So it's amazing, because I'll play one key and I'm like, ugh, I never really want to touch it again, but this one really does motivate me.
That's great, and it's brilliant to come out with it as a virtual instrument that people can load fairly quickly, because I know that I find in my own music there's sometimes a disconnect between the time I have to push the on button and the time the song idea goes out of my head.
You're like, you lost it. It's the worst thing, especially, there are just so many little things that come in the way that can definitely just ruin a moment. And it's so true that music is capturing the spontaneity of that moment. So quick and easy and beautiful and grand and big, and make you do it even better than you would.
What are some other keyboard sounds or other instrument sounds that are inspiring to you?
Instrument sounds, I love analog instruments, and that's why even with creating sounds digitally, I want them to feel like, analog and acoustic. I love, Moog sounds. I love the V-synth. I love kind of, I love Wurlitzers, and I especially love using Wurlitzers and Rhodes and Moogs and all those things, and amplifying them and putting effects pedals on them and reverbs on them and fuzz pedals on them, and just kind of going to town and having some fun. So those are some of the things I like.
So do you think we'll see sometime in the future an entire virtual Alicia's studio?
Yeah, because my studio is sick. No, seriously, the amount of equipment that we have in there is just unbelievable. So yes, I think that's a good idea.
Well, we're all looking forward to that. Alicia, thank you very much for your time. It's really a pleasure talking to you.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We'll overdub that later.